With what food group would you associate spinach, broccoli, and cabbage? You'd probably say those are all vegetables, right? Similarly, in Swift, you can associate values to a group using enumeration. In this video, you'll examine what enumeration is and why it's useful. You'll also familiarize yourself with the Swift syntax for enumeration. Then, you'll explore a demonstration of using switch statements with enumeration, where you'll learn more about assigning associated values. Enumeration, or enum, defines a common type to group related values. An enum is a value type similar to a string or an integer. When you define an enum, you define a new type. To define an enum, you insert the enum keyword followed by its identifier. Then you add the member values using the case keyword inside a pair of curly braces. Inside an enum definition, you have switch cases. Switch cases are value permutations on the defined common type. For example, red, blue, and green are permutations of color. In this case, color is the enum type and its switch cases are red, blue, and green. In addition to defining the permutations of a common type with switch cases, the switch cases can store associated and raw values. Associated values allow you to attach values of any type to a switch case. Unlike the dynamic nature of associated values, where you pass an argument value at the call site, you can provide enum cases with predefined values using raw values in the enum definition. The raw value can be of type string, character, integer, or floating point type. Don't worry if this sounds complicated. For now, all you need to know is that additional information can be passed to the enum's case values. To demonstrate how enums are defined and used, let's use the following scenario. Little Lemon is a family-owned Mediterranean restaurant focused on serving traditional food with a modern twist. On their website, they would like to display the favourite dish of the week, featuring the starters, main meals, and desserts that customers order the most. You are tasked with setting up the weekly favourite dessert. The desserts on the menu include tiramisu, affogato, and cannoli. And this week, tiramisu is in the lead with the most orders. Using this information, let's explore how you can use an enum to group and use related values to display a custom message on Little Lemon's website. To begin, I insert the keyword enum followed by dessert as its identifier. Then, inside a pair of curly braces, I declare the first value by inserting the keyword case and its identifier tiramisu, which is the first dessert on the menu. I also declare cases for affogato and cannoli. Now that the enum is defined, I can assign one of its switch cases or values to other constants and variables. To demonstrate this, I create a constant called favourite desserts. Then I assign the dessert enum and tiramisu case as its value by typing favourite dessert is equal to dessert.tiramisu. Next, to print a custom message based on the favourite dessert, I create a switch statement that switches on the enum cases. Unlike strings where it's easy to mistype a value throughout your code, the compiler will not execute the code unless the switch cases switch on the enum cases. Therefore, using enums also helps you write less error-prone code. I handle the tiramisu switch cases by adding .tiramisu inside the switch statement body. To print a custom message specific to the tiramisu switch case, I insert the print statement tiramisu is this week's favourite dessert in the tiramisu switch case body. Next, I add a case for affogato with a custom print statement, and I do the same for cannoli. Since the number of enum cases to account for is clear from the enum definition, the switch statement is exhaustive. This means that I don't need to assign a default case, unlike using a switch statement with string or integer values. When I run the code, the console logs tiramisu is this week's favourite dessert. Now, what if I want to include additional information for the tiramisu enum case? For example, to indicate that the tiramisu is the chef's signature dish. Well, I can add an associated value to the tiramisu enum case to add the option of passing additional information. Next to the enum case, I specify the type of the associated value in parentheses. And since I want the option to pass a chef's name, the type is an optional string. To further add clarity and intent to my code, I add chef name as an argument label for the associated value. I am now able to pass the chef's name as an associated value argument when assigning a tiramisu dessert. To demonstrate that the associated value passes successfully, I reuse the earlier switch statement and update the first case by adding let chef name in parentheses before the colon. Then, I update the print statements to reference the chef name constant if the value is available using an if-let statement. Now when I run the code, the console logs, Mario's tiramisu is this week's favorite dessert. You should now be able to describe and demonstrate the process of grouping related values in an enum, use switch statements to switch on enum values, and add associated values to pass additional information for enum cases. The succinct and expressive enumeration syntax not only enables you to group related values, but also helps organize and communicate the intent of your code, making it possible for you to program a safe and expressive control flow for displaying custom messages for this week's favorite dessert.